is Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff plus Alex.
We did it!
We did it.
Hey!
Alex did not speak over the intro for Alex, the addendum. So, way to go, Alex.
Good job.
Baby steps.
Yay.
Showing improvement.
It is improvement. This is Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff. Today is Monday, August 1.
I'm excited.
Do you know what August means?
Football.
Yeah.
It means football.
We're getting close, fellas.
I mean, we'll have preseason games.
Yeah?
Yeah, about our snafu last week and just totally missing the mark.
I don't think we missed anything. I think we were right.
I don't think that last week was the worst week of sports.
What happened in sports? Nothing.
Training camp started, Jim.
Yeah. But it wasn't like it was like rookie training camp, right? And then
No. This is all of them.
They just joined in.
I don't think so, Alex.
Trying to make it better.
So we might have missed a little bit, but we weren't like sports still sucked last week.
I think there's a worse week than last week for me at least.
All right.
But I am Muff, the person who's trying to maneuver this. What's the thing on the helicopter that keeps it stabilized?
The rotor?
Yeah,
is it a rotor? The rotorless helicopter. No, that's a ship. It's a rotor. It's a rotor on a helicopter. This rotorless helicopter.
I'm Jim, the Ohio Homer. Alex,
the medical degenerate. It's a tail rotor. Sorry. I'm Alex. I like random facts and wanted to know the truth about the helicopter.
You think I made that shit up?
No, I mean, I knew, but I just needed to see it. They use their tail rotor to prevent themselves from spinning.
Muff is the tail rotor.
Stop our torque reaction.
Sometimes. This week, we are diving into the NFC North, which is probably going to lead to some comments about Aaron
Your
Rodgers,
love affair with Aaron Rodgers,
the Packers, blah, blah, blah. Maybe, Jim, maybe. Training camps did start. So does this mean we officially made it to football? Maybe not football season, but football.
There's activity. You know what I mean? Like it's waking up from hibernation.
I mean, there's a preseason game on Thursday.
There's hope.
Yeah.
People arrived at training camp, obviously. Some in more intense and or interesting fashion than others.
I don't know if I would call it intense. We'll go interesting.
We'll talk a little bit about that. Kyler Murray not only gets paid, but also may have a concern with video games.
Real addiction.
Or a lack of attention to his homework.
This week's Mount Massive brings a new guest to the show.
Super pumped about that.
We'll welcome Kyle. We'll welcome Kyle. Kyle will be here for our Mount Massive segment.
You know, Kyle did this by giving feedback about the Mount Massive.
He did.
Good job, Kyle.
Way to go, buddy.
Interacted with us.
Yep. Jim?
Yeah, Bill Russell passed away today, or yesterday, if you're listening to the show, at the age of 88. T's and P's to Bill Russell. More on the life of Mr. Russell later on in the show. But yeah.
Our fantasy league is up and running with Jim as returning champion.
Thank you.
What positive vibes do we have going into this year? We feeling good about our chances? Get 2 keepers.
I'm feeling good. My wife is coming for blood.
I was gonna say Operation beat the Comptons.
Yeah,
is where I'm at this year.
Yeah, man. Well,
sorry.
Good luck.
I think it's is there some collusion afoot here?
If you think I'm colluding, you've not talked to Joe.
Yeah, if it was any other married couple, I might, but Joe's pretty competitive. I don't think there's much
she's worse than I am.
she's up there.
She's dying to win this. Like, she wants to win so bad.
What does she want if she wins? Like, what is the prize that she will hold in high esteem aside from just saying that she won.
Well, I'm sorry, Wilk. She's dying to beat Wilk. That's like her mission is to beat Wilk. And then it's to beat Muff. and then of course beat me. But I think it's in that order.
Why are you 3? You're the returning champion.
That threw me for a loop because I didn't see that coming. I thought he'd beat Jim.
Well, I mean, I think it's like she wants to prove to you guys that, like, hey, she knows what she's doing.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
I mean, if she's won that cut third, then next time you move, I'm not moving that purple mattress with you.
Don't move a purple mattress ever. Just burn it where it sits.
True story. Be sure to follow us at Sports Jim Muff on Instagram and Twitter, Sports Stuff W/Jim, Abraham Muff on Facebook, on YouTube. Subscribe, comment, rate, review, like, share, retweet.
Get the bell on. Poke.
Oh. That's right. Poke.
Mm-hmm.
How can you forget about pokes?
Yeah.
Again, today is Monday, August 1, and the Pittsburgh Pirates are 40-62, losing their 6th straight game today after the All-Star break, falling finally into last place in the NL Central and a tie for next to last place with the worst record in Major League Baseball.
Who are they tied with?
Well, there's one team worse, and they're tied with another team. I just looked at records. I did not go deep.
Man.
But this past Friday, the Pirates did have Yinzer Palooza.
Were you there?
Game. No, I was not, but it had some fanfare. It looked like the seats were packed all weekend, which means they probably had a concert and a fireworks show this weekend, because why else would people going to be there?
$1 hot dogs, something like that.
$1 hot dogs, $1 beers. And this is probably helping to draw attention away from the whole Acrisure Stadium situation. And they probably have a stockpile of icy light they're trying to get rid of.
Yeah. Yeah. Big Ben threw out the first pitch
on Friday. Yinzer Palooza. He did.
Was it good? I didn't see it.
I didn't see. I saw.
I feel like it's embarrassing if your quarterback, like your Hall of Fame quarterback, doesn't throw well.
I didn't see a video. I just saw pictures. So maybe it was not the best if I haven't seen a video yet.
Yeah.
But it probably wasn't the worst either if you haven't seen a video yet.
Yeah, if it was comically bad, it would have been everywhere.
Right. And that takes us straight into the off season. Alex, where was that on the level of poop to intensity factor?
That was good on intensity and not much poop. I liked it.
It's good poop then. It's good poop.
I think we're finally hitting our stride of intensity.
Yeah.
I think he has to have football near.
Yeah.
To fully engage. It is 38 days to NFL football.
There's always some sneaky shit going on.
What? We're still with the neighbors? Stop looking out that window.
This Jeep was just driving super slowly down the road for no reason.
Maybe they want to be on the show.
Should I go yell?
That's on you if you want to invite them into your house. 26 days
to college football.
Oh my gosh.
Woo! Can I get a Ric Flair?
Woo! Woo! 2 claps and Ric Flair. Woo!
It's wild.
So, training camps did start in the NFL this past week. We had some notable entries, walk-ins. I don't know what we call this. What do we call this? Appearances?
Yeah.
First, the one that I think got the most attention was Aaron Rodgers showing up as Cameron Poe, aka Nicolas Cage from Con Air.
How'd that make you feel?
It was pretty funny to me.
Of course.
He's got the flow. He had the beater on with the jeans and
makes you all tingly inside.
No, I don't. That's not the words.
It didn't rustle your jimmies.
My what?
Your jimmies?
I thought we weren't allowed to talk about that.
Oh, that's true. Well, it's a different connotation when you put it the way I just used it.
Okay. Well, I just want to make sure. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers came as Cameron Poe. Russ Wilson showed up as himself, wearing his own jersey in front of a tricked out Dodge Ram. Anybody else see this?
I saw the Aaron Rodgers one. And I saw a bunch of the college football players doing the "Let's Ride" Russell Wilson imitation. I think JT Daniels did. I think Caleb Williams might have done it too. There were several that did the "Let's Ride."
That's right. What type of like showing up in your own jersey? Like it's like a high school football move, isn't it? Like, oh, wear my jersey on Friday at school.
I think it would have been weirder if he would have worn someone else's jersey.
Unless it was like a throwback Broncos jersey. Like what if an Elway jersey or a Manning jersey?
I was just gonna say, unless I guess if it was a really throwback, it would have been weird.
I don't know. A lot of people were talking about the fact that he wears a jersey, saying it's kind of cheesy.
A little cheesy. He's just proud of himself.
Alex, have you seen Con Air?
No.
Put the bunny back in the box.
Thank you, Muff. Put the bunny back in the box.
I'll add it to my list of things to do.
I think you should have to watch it this week and report back.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm on call tomorrow night, so maybe things get slow at the hospital.
Yeah, you should have to report back. Put the bunny back in the box.
That's what you guys should do, is give me like old classic things to look up and watch.
Yeah.
Tin Cup.
No, Con Air first.
Go for the green.
All right, back to the sports show.
Are there any other
training
camp? Any other training camp entries, arrivals that we saw? Those are the only two I saw. That made.
I saw nothing.
Sees nothing.
Wow, just the typical fans going crazy when players walk into the stadium for practice.
Jim saw nothing, and apparently Kyler Murray is seeing nothing on his video game screen anymore.
It's getting screen time limits.
We'll see.
That got retracted.
We'll see. There was the clause in the original contract that said he had to watch 4 hours of film independently a week.
Too much screen time.
I don't. Does this mean he's watching none prior to this year?
Yeah, 4 hours doesn't seem like much. Like that's not even an hour a day.
Yeah, but anyway, they rescinded this clause later, saying they didn't want to detract from the football, and really, I think it was just let's take a step back because
they want to babysit him,
or they just didn't want people to realize that maybe he doesn't watch a whole bunch of film because it's pretty apparent that a lot of the greats, at least the recent greats, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, were both film just junkies. Like they were always watching film. And I think that sets a bad precedent maybe. And, the thought is that he was playing too many video games because he does have a pretty robust video game presence as far as like Call of Duty. And I think he has his own like clan as far as gamer tag and everything. So.
Who's in it? Who's in it is a player.
Juju Smith-Schuster's probably in it. Do we think this is a problem for not only potentially Kyler? Do we think it's a problem for Kyler? But is this something we're going to see more of or see more discussion on in the future?
I think it's individual. I think if he's putting up the numbers and doing the plays, and that was making and doing the plays, then I don't care what he does, how he does it. If he's sucking and it comes out, he never takes any time to sit down and watch film, then I'm going to be like, it's an issue.
There is also some information floating around that says that Kyler Murray's production fall off last year was very much went hand in hand with the release of the new Call of Duty game.
Oh.
So obviously people were flocking to that. Jim, any thoughts on the video games clause, the retraction of that, and film study in the NFL?
I'm walking a fine line here because there's a subject of this and what Patrick Mahomes brings up later, and we talk about. I put that topic in there for quick thoughts. I see the younger generation and their use of Twitch and video games and things of that nature being a concern for the old guard. And if there is a statistical correlation between Call of Duty's release and Kyler Murray's production, that is concerning. But as opposed to what? You know what I mean? Like back in the day where Lawrence Taylor and Michael Irvin and all of those guys their extracurriculars were hookers and blow, Kyler's playing video games. Like,
it's like whenever my parents tell me I would like buy too many books, I'm like, it could be drugs.
So I don't know. That's just, and if you look at NASCAR drivers right now, like those old school NASCAR drivers were partying and drinking and doing some of the most outlandish shit. And now those guys spend their nights racing on the iRace series, playing video games. Like, the generations have changed. Even pro wrestlers were doing speed and staying up all night, going town to town. And now the wrestlers are in the back playing video games. Like, it's just a different way of doing things. And I think like they've got to adjust a little bit. Now, if it's seriously distracting from the game, I see why that's a concern. So I walk that fine line.
Fair. And we will talk about more on this topic adjacent later. Also from Cardinals camp, Marquise Brown is on the non-football injury list with a hamstring issue.
Yeah.
So they bring in Marquise Brown. DeAndre Hopkins gets suspended.
Well, and I don't know necessarily that it's like a big time hamstring issue, but I always worry when I hear hamstring or quad issue or anything like that, because those seem to be the things that nag. So like if you're in a game and he goes down even just for that game and you're already missing Hopkins, I don't know.
Might not be good for the start of the season.
Keep a little eye out on.
Keep your eye on that. In Buccaneers camp, center Ryan Jensen carted off the field last week. Obvious pain, yelling, screaming, in pain and agony. Team later said it was a knee injury and have since said Jensen could miss months. This is a significant loss for the Buccaneers because they just signed him to a 3-year deal, even though it was even possible he was going to retire after last year. He's the anchor of the offensive line. He's the tone setter for that line and has a very good relationship with Tom Brady. Hoping that we'll hear something from Nate on this as a Buccaneers fan and what he thinks. So Nate, get at us at Sports Gym Muff on Twitter and let us know your thoughts on the Ryan Jensen injury.
I think this is what I love about NFL training camp and how the news breaks. And it hit my Twitter machine like instantly. And the report was Ryan Jensen goes down, helmet came off, he spiked his helmet. That can never mean good things. So like the indication is if you spike your helmet,
you're actually very hurt.
And that means it's bad.
Well, I was reading about him, and I don't know much about him as a person and his character, but they said he's like the kind of guy that like refuses the cart 99%. Like he's like very like suck it up, brush it off kind of guy.
Right.
So the team was kind of like when he willingly, first of all, was screaming and willingly got on the cart, they were like, something's wrong. Because usually he's like, he'll crawl off if he has,
Yeah.
So I think that was more like a comment to his usual manner versus how this went down.
Gotcha. The tweet when I was at work was He spiked his helmet.
Not good.
Not good.
I feel like whenever I don't usually throw my hat when I'm happy,
Yeah.
Is there a time that we would throw things when we're happy? Like graduation cap?
Yeah, I was gonna say graduation cap. People throw things in the air, like if they win a championship, you might like throw your glove in the air or something like that.
I can say I never, in any of my happy moments, never threw anything.
I have a cheap cloth hamper in my room that I threw a shirt in really hard angry the other day and it ripped. And I was like, you know what? That was karma. Don't throw things.
That's a pretty cheap hamper.
It really, oh yeah. Like that's, when I say cheap, I mean like Dollar General stuff, but
damn.
No hate to people who shop at Dollar General, but
Alex just destroyed a hamper from Dollar
Again, General. I have nobody living. This goes back to the curtains conversation. And you play yourself and make your own choices.
Buccaneers camp. So I know we've talked about who they have there. I want to get into not a long conversation, but how have we not talked even more about, and why is there not a huge discussion? I think there's discussion, but the Buccaneers just keep refueling the offense. They lost Gronk. They pick up Kyle Rudolph, a Hall of Fame caliber tight end. Julio Jones, a Hall of Fame caliber wide receiver, obviously on the back end of their career. Tom Brady is pretty much doing what LeBron was trying to do in LA, only Tom Brady is succeeding in doing it. Not just once, but potentially year over year at this point.
That was going to be my exact comment is everyone wants to say they played with Tom.
Well, and it's Tampa Bay. Like, I could go to Florida and kick it. Like, all right. And I'm pretty sure like there's a tax tax issue down there.
Well, it's not an issue. It's a benefit.
Right. Like you get a nice kicker for going down there.
Yeah. I think taxes are very low.
Yeah.
It's the Sunshine State. It's also probably a very red state.
Yes.
49ers camp, we have breaking news from yesterday. Deebo Samuel reportedly signing a 3-year extension worth $71.55 million, 58.1 of that guaranteed per Adam Schefter. Did we get Sheftied or is this legit?
I don't really care.
Okay. Jim doesn't care about Deebo Samuel.
Yeah, I was going to say, wait.
The last remaining holdout for the biggest contract that's coming to be.
Hold on. Let me clarify. I don't care that if I got Shefty.
Okay.
Like,
I was like, how can you? I was like, I feel like this isn't baseball, Jim. We're talking about football still.
No, like I'm so over the Adam Schefter like bullshit that I just don't care. Like I'll wait and see if somebody else breaks it and it's official before I give a shit about Adam Schefter at this point.
Okay.
I feel like he's right.
Yeah, I think this is too specific for this to be wrong, I think.
Yeah. And I think we all foresaw that's where this was going, was he was just going to get
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
If this was like he was going to the Bears with this, I'd be like, oh, let's pump the brakes. But no offense to the Bears.
The 49ers have officially said they're moving on from Jimmy G to Trey Lance after Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch, and Garoppolo met last week. I ask again, fine gentlemen, where is Jimmy G going to end up?
Here's my thing. I've seen some TikToks and some updates from camp about Trey Lance. He hasn't had a good camp the last 3 or 4 days. Like he's thrown up in left field. Like he's not very accurate. I don't know why they're so quick to move from Jimmy G. That's just me. Now, where's Jimmy G going to land? Hopefully the Browns at this point. Like,
I was just going to say probably the Browns because I originally would have said the Panthers. I think he would have been a good fit there.
Mm-hmm.
But with Baker there, he's not going to go there.
And that offense, actually, the Browns' offense works well for Jimmy G. He's a play-action type quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And the Browns have a good ground game.
Who went to Atlanta just now?
Mariota?
Mariota was named the starter.
Yeah, named the starter.
Falcons camp. We'll get there. So I think the Browns make the most sense, but again, you're waiting on the Deshaun Watson news. I guess also that Jimmy G there's something about his current injury status that he isn't able to take another physical or at least complete another physical for another week or two. So until that happens, he's not probably truly on the trade block because nobody wants to touch him until they know that he's healthy.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I can see him in Seattle.
But Drew Lock was throwing lasers, Jim. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
He hit the net 3 times in a row.
Whoa.
From 10, 15 yards. He's the next big thing. Not only does he dance, but he can throw the ball.
Sorry. Flew through the room.
You are the biggest distraction sometimes.
I know. I can't help it.
Is there squirrels out there? Squirrels.
This is a long show to keep focused the whole time.
We just started.
Just getting all my distractions out now.
Good grief. All right. Let's get through Seattle's camps. And while we watch Alex melt down.
Seattle, DK Metcalf signs a 3-year, $72 million extension that includes $58.2 guaranteed, including a $30 million signing bonus, which will come out in year 1. He'll be a free agent again at the age of 27. Seeing that Deebo Samuel just got just less than DK Metcalf, is Metcalf worth this money, or is this Seattle trying to lock up the best player on their team, especially with Chris Carson retiring?
Yeah, I think it's the best move. Like they gotta pay somebody some money. Jesus.
I don't know why, but I'm still in this like mindset of like all these guys have to be like older than me, like they're adults. And then I hear like I'll be a free agent again at 27. And I'm like, whew, that's younger than me. Look at these guys doing big things.
Yeah. And that's a big deal for him to get this big deal and then be able to get another contract before he turns 30. Like in the NFL, at a wide receiver, 30 is usually like that age where they start to like, we don't know if we want to lock you up long term.
30-year deal.
Yeah. So
good. I think it's smart of the Seahawks to do. I don't know that I think he's on this team. If DK Metcalf was on a team with a better quarterback, I can make the argument that he deserves the money.
Yeah, I get on board with that. Moving on to Falcons camp, Marcus Mariota named starting QB over Desmond Ridder after the first day of training camp. Are we surprised? Did we expect this?
I expect it. I think it makes sense. Marcus Mariota, even though he's not got a lot of experience, he has some experience. I think to at least start out, it makes sense to let him start. I do think we will see Desmond Ridder at some point. But this Jimmy G in Atlanta?
No.
Okay.
I think that's why they brought in Marcus, right? Was to be that more of a veteran.
Yeah, but I think Jimmy G better quarterback than Marcus.
What about Jimmy G at the Steelers?
No. They've got 3-4 quarterbacks in camp. They got Kenny Pickett, Mitch Trubisky, Mason Rudolph, and I think they've got another rookie sitting there somewhere. So
I know I wanted to tweet at Sam the other day that there was some Steeler blog opinion. It's like, are we not giving Mason Rudolph enough credit? Like, could he be an actual threat in this quarterback battle?
Could he be? To Steelers camp, Najee Harris quoted as saying, "I'm going no visor this year. I'm just strictly business. I want to see MF's eyes."
I love that.
Of course you do.
Visor.
Okay. You know what would get you hyped up too if it was one of your team's running back.
Well, the question I have here is the visor more intimidating or is the no visor more intimidating? Or is there a reason to wear the visor so people can't see your eyes?
Oh, I don't know. I just like the hype behind the sentiment. Right. When I was playing Madden and creating my own characters, I usually went no visor.
All right.
Jim, any thoughts on visors?
I don't care. That is not a topic I give a shit about.
Okay. What do you care about today?
I was going to say, you've been very lost, bleh.
I mean, this man saying he wants to see people's eyes, now he's got himself on an island. Now he's got to show out. I just think that's silly. That's silly.
That is silly. Okay, well, as we talked about, this is the last division, the NFC North, which we were going to break down in the NFC this week, and moving on to the AFC next week. The NFC North breakdown, starting with last year's standings. The Packers at 13-4, earning a playoff berth. The Vikings at 8-9, Bears 6-11, Lions 3-13, and 1.
Wait, you're not going to talk about that graphic you decided to put in there?
No, in the interest of time.
Oh, no, that's not necessarily fair now, is it?
Clearly, Jim had a lot to say.
Go ahead, Jim. Make your case.
I just want to know why we left Malcolm Jenkins off there.
Off of what? The graphic? I'm not the one that made the graphic. I just found it because Nate shared it.
All right, whatever. Let's move on to the breakdown. I just think that.
Where'd you think Malcolm Jenkins ended up in this graph? Which in the cornerbacks, it's Charles Woodson, Champ Bailey, Rondé Barber, Ty Law, Nnamdi Asomugha, Antoine Winfield, Asante Samuel, and Darrell Rivas. Who does Malcolm Jenkins replace?
I can't see the graphic anymore. You deleted it to cover up your tracks.
Oh, don't think so.
You definitely put it right back in.
Where's it at?
Control Z is an amazing tool, Jim.
I think he replaces Asomugha.
Yeah, I agree.
Or Antoine Winfield.
Yeah.
Those would be one of mine if I was going to. I don't necessarily agree or disagree. I'm just.
Any other thoughts, Jim?
That's all I have.
Anybody else we need to put up there that should be there that's not there from the school from the state of Ohio?
No, that's it. That's all I wanted.
Okay, NFC North time. Starting with the Packers. The winners of the NFC North last year. Losses, obviously, Devontae Adams lost to the Raiders. Marquez Valdez-Scantling lost to the Chiefs. Offensive tackle Billy Turner gone. Guard Lucas Patrick gone. And Zadarius Smith from the linebacker spot gone. The additions that they've made are on both sides of the ball. In the defensive side, we got defensive tackle Jaron Reed from the Chiefs coming over. Linebacker Devondre Campbell coming over. And cornerback Rasul Douglas coming over the defensive side of the ball to join the re-signs of Alan Lazard and Big Bob Tunyon at the tight end spot after missing most of last year with an injury. The offense, go ahead, Alex.
Nope, go ahead. We'll talk about the offense first, and I'll get my thoughts.
The offense, obviously led by the reigning, defending, two-time MVP of the league, Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, God.
Muff's boy. Muff's
He's
secret crush.
Apparently everybody's boy if he's two-time reigning, defending NFL MVP.
You can be the MVP and not be my boy. But he's your boy.
It's okay. Running back Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. Wide receiver, the biggest question mark in Green Bay, Alan Lazard, Randall Cobb, Christian Watson, and Romeo Doubs, along with Big Bob Tunyon at tight end. How are we feeling?
Is Alan Lazard a number one receiver?
He's gonna be.
I mean, logistically he is, but talent.
He's not shown that he is, in my opinion.
I look around the league at all the receivers, and I'm still looking at the Packers. What'd you do? I don't dislike Alan Lazard. I think he's a good football player. I don't think he's the explosive weapon that you need. I mean, Aaron Jones is good, so you're going to have a good running back, and A.J. Dillon has done fine. And, like I said, I don't dislike Alan Lazard. I just think you didn't fill holes that you should have probably filled.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't understand why he came back.
Who?
Aaron Rodgers. I don't get it.
As opposed to, I mean, he got the deal.
This is rough. Whatever. I mean, okay.
Defensive side of the ball, we got linebacker Quay Walker, Rashawn Gary, DBs Adrian Amos, and Jair Alexander. They've been relatively competitive on the defensive side of the ball. Losing Zadarius Smith was a big blow to them, but they couldn't afford him. So the questions for the Green Bay Packers, a little bit of what we just talked about. Who's going to be Aaron Rodgers' top target this year?
I leave my answer to that to the Muffnac.
How old's Randall Cobb?
Oh, he's mid-30s. Got to be.
I was going to say, I feel like he's been around for a while. But again, he's a reliable, good guy to have on the team, but he's not your all-star receiver. But whatever.
Yeah, there's been some talk because Christian Watson's currently on the he's on the PUP list, but apparently you can be on the PUP list during training camp, and as long as you're not on there at the beginning of the season, you don't miss any time. You just come off of the PUP list.
Gotcha.
It's interesting. I learned a little bit about this stuff, but don't understand it still. But there's been a lot of talk about Romeo Doubs. He's impressing, but he's also obviously one of the very limited wide receivers at their camp. So we'll see where that goes. Will the ground game be able to support what may be a shaky start in the passing game with all of those unknowns we have at the wide receiver position? Jim, thoughts?
I think so. I think that Aaron Jones will be okay. I don't think they have much of a choice.
True.
So I think so.
And Alex, will Aaron Rodgers be in the running for a third MVP this season?
No.
Yeah.
No. I mean, with the other guys in the league, Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes.
Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, definitely. Possibly even Mason Rudolph. I don't know.
Jeez.
Right, Jim?
Murderers Row in Pittsburgh. Right, Jim?
Yeah, okay, come on.
What's going on TikTok, buddy?
I'm not looking at TikTok. I'm just trying to get out of this Packers bullshit so I don't have to hear this love affair of Aaron Rodgers.
Moving on to the Minnesota Vikings. Key losses. Tight end Tyler Conklin to the Jets. Center Mason Cole to the Steelers. And safety Xavier Woods to the Panthers. Additions. Defensive tackle Harrison Phillips from the Bills. Linebacker Jordan Hicks from the Cardinals. And they got Zadarius Smith from the Packers, an in-division pickup, which is always good for a team. Offensively, the Vikings are led by quarterback Kirk Cousins, running back Dalvin Cook, wide receivers Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, KJ Osborne, and tight end Irv Smith Jr.
On paper, the Vikings should be good.
Yeah. I mean, I think, in my opinion, Aaron Rodgers should have gone to the Vikings.
That would have taken a lot of maneuvering.
Yeah.
With a contract that Kirk Cousins has right now.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it couldn't happen. Just saying
Kirk Cousins can just not do anything disastrous, they could do good work. I mean,
you're asking for a lot.
I know, but Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, Irv Smith Jr. is not a bad tight end. You have weapons around. You just have to make sure a quarterback just don't do anything stupid.
Yep.
Don't screw.
I feel like they're just gonna look in the face and be like, you don't have to do anything magical. Just don't do anything dumb.
Yeah.
All right. On defensive side of the ball, they've got Daniel Hunter, Eric Kendricks, and Jordan Hicks at the linebacker spots. Obviously, Zadarius Smith and Patrick Peterson, which it's pretty stout defense when you look at a paper.
Yeah.
Questions for the Vikings. Will Kirk Cousins be able to outperform his GM's expectations after burying him in a preseason press conference? Did you all hear of this?
I did not, but
I was going to say, I don't think I heard it.
The Vikings GM, a newer guy, I think this is his first year, pretty much came out and said, I'm not saying he stated any lies, but he said, well, it's not like we got a Tom Brady. It's not like we got, he started naming off like the Patrick Mahomes is like the top 5 quarterbacks. I think he even went into like top 10, even getting like Derek Carr and stuff like that in there. It's like, it's not like we got one of these guys. So, we're just going to do what we can do with what we have. I'm just like, way to just bolster the confidence of your entire team going into the preseason.
I mean, at least he did. I like the guy. He's telling the truth. That's my kind of guy right there.
Alex, thoughts?
I don't know. That's a little harsh. I mean, that's something you like say to your buddies like over a beer, not necessarily like openly just smash down on your quarterback. The press conference,
somebody that you paid a good bit of money to, you just be like, we paid you money, but we know you're not that good.
That's like a behind closed doors, like, yeah, man, the kid's really trying, but it's not right.
And will the running game in Minnesota be elite enough to support the Kirk Cousins play action passing game?
I think so.
This is a Dalvin Cook like health situation in the end, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, didn't they have a hell of a backup too?
Alex Madison. I don't know if he's still there or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
So
we haven't heard about him going anywhere else. I feel like that would be a decent.
Yeah, he's a serviceable backup. Alex, if you want to look that up, we'll move on to the Bears real quick. The Bears losses. Wide receiver Allen Robinson to the Rams.
I think he's still Viking.
The Bears. Alex Madison is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. The Bears. Lost
wide receiver Jakeem Grant for the Browns. Guard James Daniels to the Steelers. Defensive tackle Bilal Nichols to the Raiders. And Khalil Mack to the Chargers.
So, hey, guys, our offensive line, not the best at keeping Justin standing upright. You know what we're going to do? We're going to gut the defense, too. Good grief.
Fire sale in Chicago. They did add Byron Pringle from the Chiefs at wide receiver, and Quinemius St. Brown from the Packers at wide receiver, and N'Keal Harry at wide receiver from the Patriots, former first-round draft pick, one of Bill Belichick's rare misses. They've also added guard Lucas Patrick from the Packers, Al-Quad Muhammad from the Colts at the end, and Justin Jones from the Chargers at D-tackle. So more additions really than subtractions. I just think the subtractions are potentially big deals.
I mean, those are key players on that defensive front or defensive and side of the ball that they should not have probably lost.
Yeah.
On the offensive side of the ball for the Bears, Justin Fields at quarterback, David Montgomery at running back. At wide receiver, we got Darnell Mooney, who's still there, Byron Pringle, obviously, N'Keal Harry, and tight end Cole Kmet.
Tight end's not bad. He's not great, but he's not bad.
Byron Pringle came on at the end of last year. He had some good plays for the Chiefs. So he could be a good addition if Justin Fields stays upright and gets him the ball.
That's true. If Justin Fields stays upright. Defensive side of the ball, we got defensive tackle Justin Jones, defensive end Robert Quinn, linebackers Roquan Smith, strong safety Jaquan Brisker, picked up in the draft, supposed to be making an immediate impact for the Bears. Questions for the Bears. Who is going to be Justin Fields' primary target? Jim, I bring this to you.
I have no idea. No idea. Pringle, I guess. He's got to stay upright. That's the first test. Who's the backup for the Bears? Did the Red Rockets stay there?
Andy Dalton? Did he?
Well, I didn't hear him going anywhere else.
I don't think he did.
Who is the backup in Chicago?
Trevor Siemian and Nathan Peterman.
Okay.
Nathan Peterman?
He's third. Trevor Siemian second.
They can both throw picks.
Yeah, so it's going to be a...
They also have Daz Newsome. Wide out.
All right, we'll see.
Can this defense support an offense that is going to understandably have challenges and experience growing pains, especially at the beginning part of the season?
No.
Jeff does not have confidence in the Bears.
No
confidence.
Speaking of lack of confidence, moving on to the Detroit Lions.
See, I am going to ride or die with the Lions this year.
Ride or die.
It's their time.
Mark this down for the betting show.
I
am going to hold you to this so hard.
I don't know. I want the Lions to be good so bad.
Cannot wait. Cannot wait.
The Lions lose DJ Shark to the Jags, Mike Hughes, cornerback to the Chiefs. But wait, apparently we messed up in there. They add DJ Shark from the Jaguars. I apologize.
That we messed up. We didn't mess up. You did this.
I feel like somebody's been messing with me. Re-sign Josh Reynolds at wide receiver, linebacker Charles Harris, and safety Tracy Walker. Offensive side of the ball, we've got quarterback Jared Goff, running back DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams, wide receiver Amon Ray St. Brown.
Ra.
DJ
the sun god, right? Amon Ra.
Ra is the sun god. DJ Shark, Jameson Williams, Josh Reynolds, and TJ Hawkinson at the tight end spot.
How can you not look at that team and think that they have a shot?
Because of the Lions. I think that's unfortunately what we've just come to expect. I'm not saying I disagree with you, Alex, and my records may show a little bit of what you just said. I just don't know if I can make myself truly trust it yet.
I can't wait to make you bet them.
Who, me?
No, Alex.
You just wait. When I'm rolling in the dough later, I'm going to be regretting it. Wishing you were on my bandwagon.
I can't wait.
Defense side of the ball, they got Michael Brockers at tackle, Aiden Hutchinson, number 1 draft pick at the end, and Jeff Okuda at quarterback.
That's right, from the Ohio State University.
Aiden Hutchinson from Michigan. Questions for the Lions. Will Jared Goff step up as quarterback and prove he's worth the money they're investing in him currently?
No.
I think he will be solid.
All right.
Cannot wait.
Can the Lions get rid of Goff quickly enough?
They'll hang around.
At this point, they're just they're waiting him out. Ooh, that's a lot of money. Goff's making a good bit of money
I know.
because
If Goff
they absorbed that contract to get Stafford out.
We'll see.
Will DeAndre Swift stay healthy and prove he's worthy of the number 1 backfield role?
Yes.
Yes.
I agree. Is Dan Campbell going to continue to be one of the most entertaining and electric coaches in football?
Yes.
Yes.
And Dan Campbell is the reason I think that I want. I think I'm a Dan Campbell fan. Is why I'm hooking my wagons to the Lions this year.
This week, our projected standings for the NFC North. Let's start with Jim, then me, and then Alex.
I have the Lions at 3-14, the Bears at 7-10, the Vikings at 9-8, and the Packers at 11-6.
I have the Bears bringing up the bottom of this division at 5-12, the Lions at 6-11, the Vikings at 10-7, and the Packers at 12-5.
And I have the Bears at 7-10, the Vikings at 8-9, the Lions at 9-8, and the Packers at 12-5. I think that we should go back at the end of this season and see how close we were on all these.
Can't wait.
That is ballsy, Alex. Not just that the Lions are better than the Vikings.
Yeah.
Cannot wait. Gonna be a good time.
This could be interesting. So that wraps up the NFC North breakdown and this session of the off season.
This is Mount Massive. All right, so we got a special guest, Mr. Kyle Lutz. He brought his own topic because he's a loyal listener, and he said, "Hey guys, do the top 5 sports movies." And Muff and Alex said, "Bring forth your top 5 movies and come on the show." So welcome to the show, Kyle. How are you?
Thanks, Jim. I'm doing well. Thanks for having me, and it's been great listening to you guys for the past couple months. And excited to be on. It's actually my first podcast I'm on.
Well,
Hey.
happy to pop your cherry coming on the show. Ooh, good sound effect, Muff. So we're gonna save yours, the best, for last. We're gonna have Alex start.
Okay.
Does that mean Alex is the worst?
Yes. And we're gonna have you judge everyone's list, Kyle.
Oh boy.
So Alex,
Be ruthless. It's okay.
Alex is gonna say his reasoning for his list, give his spiel, and then tell the list, and then Kyle, you tell us what you think.
Sounds good.
All right. So my list in no particular order. We have 1, Rudy. 2, Radio. 3, The Sandlot. 4, Rocky. And 5, Miracle. With an honorable mention going to Angels in the Outfield.
Is there any reasoning behind your list?
No, I just like these movies. I used to watch Rudy like on repeat at night, like a little DVD player. It's good inspirational movie about coming up from the bottom. I think that's what I always like the movies that like they motivate you, you know? And then The Sandlot's just for fun.
Kyle, what do you think of his list?
I think it's an excellent list. I don't think I've seen Miracle before, but if I did, it was a long time ago.
And I play for the United States of America.
But yeah, but I always say I know the story behind it. 1980s U.S. Olympic hockey team, but great story behind it. But yeah, The Sandlot, not to get too far ahead, it's on my list as well. I mean, who can go wrong with The Sandlot? It's an excellent movie. It's a lot more about that than baseball, about friendship. It's about growing up, making memories. It's one of the best too. So I really love that option.
I'm gonna go next. My list is based on strictly my personality and my life. I'm a big fan of Any Given Sunday, Lawrence Taylor. To me, that's how football really is. It's probably not, but in my head, that's how football is. 4 is King Richard. I got 2 daughters of my own. It's kind of how I think I parent. I probably don't parent like the Williams father, but it's kind of how I wish I did. Varsity Blues, because I grew up in that era of that's kind of how I see the Ohio Valley and sports. Days of Thunder, Rubbin is racing. I love Days of Thunder. And then I wrestled. So Vision Quest is a movie that like we always watch before tournaments. So Vision Quest, like you put Vision Quest on right now, and me and my buddy Goose will sit down and just watch the whole damn thing and drink beer. And then honorable mention for me is Sandlot, because growing up, I had my own Sandlot with a bunch of friends. So that's my list.
Yeah. Is Vision Quest the movie where the song "Lunatic Fringe" became popular?
I believe
is
so.
That I forget if it's that movie or another. Like
I can't remember
movie.
either. But that's Vision Quest is the cut and weight. That's the whole thing. You know what I mean? Like, Kyle, what do you think of my list, buddy?
I totally forgot about Varsity Blues. I've seen it a few times, and I'm glad you brought that up. I'm going to have to probably rewatch that one now, because I really enjoyed that one when I first watched it.
Many drunken nights watching that movie.
I have never seen 3 of the 5 movies on your list.
What 3?
I haven't seen King Richard yet. I know that's a rather new movie, so I haven't gotten around to see that one yet. But
it's good.
Will Smith won the Oscar for that one, right?
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, that one's definitely on my watch list. But yeah, I know that's one that's rather new, so that's probably the reason why I haven't gotten around to that one yet.
Yeah, go see it.
What are the other 2 you haven't seen, Alex?
Days of Thunder and Vision Quest.
Go watch Days of Thunder.
And what was the third one? King Richard?
King Richard, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I haven't seen Varsity Blues in a very long time. And then everyone's kind of seen Any Given Sunday at least once.
I don't want your life.
I don't want your life. Any Given Sunday, Jim, did we just talk about football is like not that anymore?
Yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
But in my head, when Lawrence Taylor was playing football, that's how Lawrence Taylor played football. Like,
that's true.
So go ahead, Muff. Give us your list.
My list, as should be expected, has a couple golf movies on it. Tin Cup and Caddyshack are the golf movies on there. Friday Night Lights and Varsity Blues are the football movies. And then White Men Can't Jump is also on my list to round out the 5.
So go ahead, Kyle.
I love Caddyshack. It's an all-time classic golf movie. That's actually one of the movies that may be on my list, maybe in my honorable mention, but love that movie. I think that's my dad's favorite movie, so he always quotes that movie when we go golfing, and it's just a very funny movie, all-time classic for golf. So glad you brought that up, Muff.
Mm-hmm.
I have never seen White Men Can't Jump.
Oh, Alex,
what's wrong with you?
I'm telling you, I told you guys you need to assign me a weekly movie and I'll report back. Jeez. Con Air this week. You can't take it back.
Yeah, you have to watch Con Air.
Kyle, real quick before we get into your list, what were your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers showing up as Cameron Poe to training camp?
I love Aaron Rodgers, his personality. That was
pretty
cool.
Kyle, you are welcome back on this show anytime you'd like to, especially during football season.
Another one, Jim.
Talk about Aaron Rodgers.
I'm a big Aaron Rodgers fan, too. Even though I'm not a Packers fan, big fan of Aaron Rodgers.
All right, Kyle.
But also, since I'm on here, go Buckeyes.
There we go. Redeemed.
And half the reason I needed to come on the show is just give you some Buckeye backup, Jim.
There we go. Let's hear your list, Kyle.
All right. In no particular order. Friday Night Lights, The Bad News Bears, Moneyball, The Sandlot, and this may be a little bit controversial, and maybe it's just because I have my nostalgia goggles on, The Longest Yard, 2005, the remake with Adam Sandler.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
And a few of my honorable mentions, obviously, like any of the Rocky movies besides Rocky 5.
Yes.
Caddyshack, Happy Gilmore. And another category I had was the most quotable sports movies was Dodgeball.
Yeah.
Talladega Nights. And I just had a couple underrated ones that are very good, but I don't think they get the spotlight that they should, is Glory Road.
I almost put that on my list. That's a good movie.
Gridiron Gang.
Okay.
And The Ringer.
Yes. That is on one of my all-time favorites.
I quote that a lot. You took it and you scratched it.
my CD.
Look me dead in the face and you scratch my CD. What do you have got ice cream? That's my favorite.
It was on the quotable list, right? That was.
Kyle, I wanted to throw out two more just to see your reaction since they got taken off my list. Remember the Titans was one that we didn't mention. That was.
I'm actually surprised no one said that one.
I tried, but Jim cut me off.
I thought it was going to be on almost everyone's list. I hear people talking about that all the time for like best football movies. So I was preparing to hear that a lot. So
I think the only reason it wasn't on my true list was it was like a predictable. Yeah. And then the other one that I had as an honorable mention was A League of Their Own.
That's a good one.
I think this is very telling. Our lists are very telling of like the generation we grew up in.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, I guess Remember the Titans is the same like generation as Friday Night Lights as far as the movie, but the book, right, about the real Permian Panthers was set in the 80s.
Well, I think the movie was set in the 80s too.
Right, I'm saying, but the movie came out. Right, but the movie came out.
Oh yeah, it came out like 04, 05.
Much later.
Yeah.
But the story was back to the 80s.
Okay.
And obviously Varsity Blues is the football movie that Jim and I grew up with going through in that. So Jim got a little bit more even farther back for his list.
Oh yeah. Vision Quest is yeah. I mean, it got passed down, you know what I mean? Like So like wrestler high school would pass to the next wrestler. So like it got to me through the 80s because 80s wrestlers were passing it down. Well, Kyle, I hope you enjoyed being on your first podcast.
Yeah, it was a great time. I had a great time talking to you, gentlemen, and hope I can do it again sometime.
Oh yeah.
My favorite segment is the Mount Massive, and
that's right.
A good time.
Favorite segment, Mount Massive. That's right. You heard that, Muff.
You too could be a guest on Mount Massive.
When he told us that, we immediately credited you, Jim.
Yes, we did.
I know you think we only talk bad about you, but we said stuff nice.
I appreciate it.
We talk nice. We talk nice behind your back, buddy.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Well, that was Mount Massive. So as mentioned in the opening, we talked about the passing of Bill Russell. And I just want to talk about briefly. He was a two-time national champion at the University of San Francisco, captain of the 1956 gold medal Olympic team, 11-time NBA champ with the Boston Celtics, 2 of those as a coach, 5-time MVP, 12-time All-Star, 14,522 points, 21,620 rebounds, 41,000 assists. He mentored the likes of Kobe, Magic, many other current stars. He was an all-around supreme athlete. And when we talk about just now coming out of the Mount Massive, we talk about LeBrons, and we talk about Kobe's, and we talk about Michael Jordan's. Bill Russell, and I think it's because we talk about those guys and we're of the younger generation, as Muff said, and when it comes to movies, sometimes Bill Russell doesn't get the credit athletically because he's from the older generation. But he did things, 11-time NBA champ that nobody's probably ever going to do again athletically. That's fantastic. But then his civic and his social things that he did, he was a trailblazer. Let's just talk about, he's in the Basketball Hall of Fame and he refused to attend because frankly he thought that like other black basketball players should have been put in before him. He was at the Cleveland Summit. We talked about the Cleveland Summit on episodes before, but it was a Jim Brown, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and some other athletes. I'm missing one. I can't think of the other one, but they all were at a Cleveland Summit to support Muhammad Ali. And it was outspoken athletes who were speaking up in support of Muhammad Ali at a time where that was frowned upon. His Boston Celtics were experiencing racism in Kentucky before a exhibition game and he boycotted a game. If you all remember earlier, there was, I think last summer or the last season, there was boycotts of games. And I thought that was like a new thing. No, Bill Russell had done it before. He was the first black head coach in any major league sport. He's the Presidential Medal of Freedom winner. He was truly a trailblazer in not just sports. And I didn't realize all that. And so that's why I just bring him up now briefly, because he was a hell of an athlete and did things that probably will never be done. And then he did a lot of things that like we recognize LeBron for, and we recognize a lot of other athletes for us. And I think a lot of people go, wow, that's a first. Nope. He did it first. And so I just kind of want to recognize him on this show as like, damn, like that was a legend. And it's kind of cool.
Yeah, the amount of championships in the rings, all of that aside, like I agree. He was doing things in an era when it was not as celebrated.
Yeah.
Like taking stands, stands against inequity, racial justice, social justice. Like that's a time whenever the potential ramifications of doing that were a whole lot greater than they are right now.
Yeah.
Comparatively. So yeah, it's the world, not just the basketball world, lost a great soul today.
And it's not, I don't know, maybe because I'm older now and I got kids and all that. This is one of the last ones of that generation, celebrity wise, that we had left that did that. You know what I mean? Like this is Muhammad Ali's gone. Jim Brown's still alive, I believe, right?
Yes.
But there aren't too many left that stood up to inequity at a time where you couldn't, like you were risking your life. And so I just think that's crazy that like today or yesterday, if you're listening to the show, we lost somebody from that era. And that's crazy to me. Like the gravity of that. So it's just, I wanted to give him his due. And that's why I brought it up on the show, like outside of quick thoughts and all the other stuff.
I did not know a lot of that. That was very informational for me.
Yeah, neither did I. I heard he passed, and I was going to Lowe's, and I heard it on the radio of all the stuff, and I was like, damn, like we need to say something about it. So
I always feel like whenever, and just give my brief 2 cents, I always feel like whenever these kind of figures die, it hits me that all of these things that I put as like that happened so long ago, we're so different now. It didn't happen that long ago. Like,
right.
Like, I don't know. Like looking at the years, sometimes thinking like when my parents were, I was like, wow, like my mom was about to be like, she almost lived through this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just weird. And then it puts it kind of in perspective how close everything really is. So.
Yeah.
Good
That's
job.
all.
Good job.
That's all I wanted was just to like point that out. So thank you guys for giving me that opportunity.
Good piece.
This is Quick Thoughts.
I almost messed it up there, just for the record. Even though we practiced, I almost messed it up. So if I'm making a weird face, it's because I was about to say, welcome to Quick Thoughts. That's not how we do it. But now I can. Welcome to Quick Thoughts. This week, we're going to start in the NFL. In the NFL, there is concern in the league over the use of the new, quote, guardian cap, unquote, in camp. There is a belief that this cap will cause players to use their helmets more than usual and cause more issues when the caps are removed for live play. For those of you that don't know, the guardian caps are those little black foamy things they've been wearing over their helmets.
It's not little.
No, but
it's like a bubble on their helmet.
All right, Jim.
Well.
I think there's something to be said for it may cause issues when it comes off. But I don't necessarily think it's the same issues that everybody's concerned with. If I'm running with a giant block on my head for 3 weeks, and I'm like, I got this big block on my head, and then like I get to take it off for live play, I feel like I'll be like disoriented. Like, I don't think I'm going to lead with my head so much as like, I'm going to be like, where's the big thing on my shoulders? Like, I'm going to feel funny. That's just me.
Muff?
Why are your shoulders involved? It's on your head.
Have you seen me walk, Muff? Like, I'm just one giant boulder. So
anyway, the helmet condom is is a thing, and if other people haven't seen it, Jason Kelsey kind of poked fun at this and put bubble wrap on top of his helmet.
I did see that. That was epic.
Like to call attention to like, and this, so the positions that this is targeted for in training camp are offensive, defensive line, tight ends, wide receivers, and I think like safeties. Like that's in running backs. I think they're like those high impact. And obviously at the beginning of training camps, unless you have like an outrageous coach at this point, like maybe Urban Meyer last year, trying to do like live hitting drills early on in the preseason.
The punter had it on for Urban.
Right. Yeah. The punter.
I'm going to kick you. Wear that bubble.
But yeah, like these are meant to ease back into it and avoid the unnecessary head contact in those first few weeks. So I get it. It looks weird, but I mean, we've also seen to some degree this in some other high contact sports like rugby. So
yeah.
Plus, Jim, I don't think they're that heavy. Like, I feel like they're probably very aerodynamically friendly. Like, think how light the running shoes and stuff are. Like, they don't.
All right, Alex, go wrap bubblehead around your head next show. And
I will. I'll let you know. I'll add that to my list.
Know.
Watch Con Hair bubble wrap around head.
Do it while watching Con Hair.
All right, next topic. Patrick Mahomes said that he read about Kyler Murray's contract and study clause, and here's his own. And this is his own criticism. Quote, obviously, the black quarterback has had to battle to be in this position that we are to have this many guys in the league playing, unquote. Mahomes said Friday after the Kansas City Chiefs concluded a training camp practice, every day we're proving that we should have been playing the whole time. We've got guys that can think just as well as they can use their athleticism. It's always weird when you see guys like me, Lamar Jackson, Kyler kind of get that on them when other guys don't. But at the same time, we're going out there to prove ourselves every day to show we can be some of the best quarterbacks in the league. Thoughts, Muff?
I think it's positive that Patrick Mahomes is the person that's speaking up, because I don't, at least to my knowledge, and I never have heard Patrick Mahomes like put into that type of category. I think maybe just because he's experienced so much success early, that he's not somebody I've felt has been put in that segment where Lamar Jackson maybe, where Kyler Murray may be now, that people have concerns about his commitment based on this video game thing. But like we talked about, there's a whole lot worse things he could be doing than playing video games on the side. And what I see with some of this is like, I'm going to focus in on Kyler for a second, is what's the difference between Kyler Murray using his video game platform to have a side hustle and make money than somebody like Peyton Manning starting Omaha Productions or being on all those commercials. So I think it's just a different way to capitalize on your platform, on your fame, to get some additional money. Because I can guarantee that Kyler Murray is getting paid to do some of that video gaming stuff. It's just it's perceived to be a less old white way to earn money, if we're going to use some terms. Yeah, I get it. It makes sense, and I'm glad that Patrick Mahomes was the person to bring this up, because he's not somebody that I ever thought of in that light, but I totally understand it.
Jim?
I agree with everything Muff said. I agree that it's nice to hear Patrick Mahomes come out and say something. I think the point is valid. Like, we look at Lamar Jackson and go, well, he's not your quote unquote traditional quarterback. We look at Patrick Mahomes and go, well, he throws the ball funny. We look at Kyler and go, well, he plays video games. Like, we always find a but with the black quarterback. But we never necessarily put a asterisk next to the white quarterback. And I hate saying that. Like, I truly hate saying that. And, when I say we, like, I definitely mean me. Like, I innately agree with the media's perception. Like, oh, yeah, he does throw the ball funny. Or like, yeah, Lamar, he is the running quarterback. He doesn't, you know what I mean? And, oh, maybe Kyler does play video games too much. And I buy into the narrative so easily. And I am guilty by just buying in. And it took Patrick Mahomes saying that for me to be like, wait, yeah, that is kind of horse shit. You know what I mean? Like, for me to realize, like, yeah, there is some merit there. Shit. So, like, yeah, I think he's got a valid point there.
Okay. Another NFL topic, there was a minor scuffle in Steelers practice, and Josh Allen got chippy with a defensive tackle at the end of the Bills practice. Are these types of small altercations good for motivation and showing that people are interested in caring in practice, or do you think it's a little bit of a problem for this kind of thing to happen?
I don't think it's a problem one bit. Not one freaking bit. Like, you're coming back from being off. You got to be innately sore. It's hot. And you're playing. You're going back to work. Your attitude's probably not the greatest. You're going to get chippy. I'm okay with it.
Muff,
There were times when Muff and I were doing our jobs and we were starting back where we hated each other. Now we're doing a podcast. Like, it builds camaraderie.
To hate each other a little bit.
A little bit.
Just a little bit.
Muff, any thoughts?
I think this is more telling of, so it's like the older guys. I think this happens more often with an older guy or a more established person like a Josh Allen, somebody that's like, yeah, I already know my spot on this team.
Yeah.
And it's some of the second, third, fourth string guys or people trying to just make the roster on special teams that get a little full of themselves or trying to just like make something stand out. And those are the guys that are usually starting it more so. And it's like the older dudes are like, hey, little puppy, calm down. Like, it's okay.
Like, that's where you came from.
It's good job, buddy. Now just go back in the corner until we ask you to come back out again. Like,
that's fair.
Put people in their place.
That's fair. Staying with football, but moving to the college world, UCLA will receive about $67.5 million from Under Armour as part of a settlement to resolve the school's lawsuit against the apparel company for terminating a record 15-year, $280 million deal back in June of 2020. Under Armour cited marketing benefits the UCLA had not provided for an extended period of time for the reason of termination. Do you think that Under Armour had a point?
It's me. Yeah. Under Armour has a point. I'm sure they do. They didn't get as much of a benefit as they anticipated from UCLA, but this goes down to all of those things like, well, what if UCLA found that the Under Armour products were subpar and they could get them better from somebody else? Could they just terminate that contract? Under Armour wouldn't allow that. So I think they have to honor the agreement for the time period, and they just have to suck it up. And if they're getting a loss, just accept that loss, and it's business. That's business, baby.
Hey, Jim,
who signs a 15-year deal with UCLA for that kind of money and expects a good return? It's UCLA. I don't. What were you getting out of it? Like,
I don't remember ever thinking of UCLA as an Under Armour product.
I don't understand the return they thought they were going to get. That was a bad investment on Under Armour. Stick with the Rock.
There you go. Other college news. In response to criticism of the Pac-12's future, Commissioner George Kliavkoff.
No, I'm just shaking my head, Alex. Keep going.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought maybe I was not supposed to do this one or something. In response to the criticism of the Pac-12's future, Commissioner George Kliavkoff says, we are bullish about the Pac-12's future and our opportunities for long-term growth, stability, and success. He continues by saying, our conference boasts 10 of the most iconic and innovative brands in all of sports, all-around excellence in academics and athletics, and a half dozen of the most valuable markets in the country. Thoughts, Jim?
Alex, name the 10 schools left in the Big 12.
In the Big 12?
The Pac-12.
Pac-12. Name the 10 schools.
USC, UCLA, Oregon, Washington.
You can't name USC and UCLA, so because they're gone. Name the 10 schools left.
They will be gone.
Yeah, will be gone. Oregon State. Arizona State. Are they?
See my point here? So if you're going to be the commissioner, say we have 10 of the most iconic and innovative brands in all of sports, and most people can't name those 10, that is false. Now, and all around people like you, no, they're all around excellence in academics. You're correct, sir. That's what you're good at.
Stanford.
And a half a dozen of the most valuable markets. I would say you might be probably true there. 6 good markets. But your schools are not that valuable. And that's the issue. The outlook for your conference is not good. Your job is to say it is, and I get that. But let's start selling it a little better. That's my thought.
Muff?
Football is an East Coast heavy thing, and the Pac-12 just lost the 2 most recognizable brands in that conference to the East Coast. So sorry about your luck. Hopefully California will keep the train rolling, but other than that, they're going to be in the dumps.
We got Cal and Oregon.
Cal. That is one. Brent Venables says that he doesn't want guys to commit if they're still going to be making visits to other schools. He says that he wants someone that when he proposes and they say yes, they go on to get married. Do you agree or disagree with this? Muff?
I do agree that if you're going to commit, full on commit, then yeah, you sign it, you're done.
What does full on commit mean to you, Muff?
It's not a verbal. So it's a written commitment. I am saying I commit to play to X school. It's written somewhere. So if these are verbal commits, then that's been going on for years. The verbal commits have never been solid as oak. So I agree that if we're going to have commitments that are beyond the verbal, then they should be honored. If you're not going to do that, then just don't commit or make a verbal commitment and do what people have done for years.
Jim?
I firmly disagree. Unless Brett Venables is going to also commit to his position and put that in blood, he can shut up. Because guaranteed, if, God forbid, knock on some wood, the coach of Alabama were to suddenly, let's say he retires. I'm not even getting very drastic. Let's say he retires and Alabama knocked on the door of Brent. Best believe he's leaving Oklahoma. So shut up.
That was kind of the same thing. That's your similar opinion that you've always kind of had on the transfer portal.
Yes.
But okay. Fair enough. I get what he's saying though too. His thoughts were, how do I build a roster whenever I have all these guys saying they're committed, and then all of a sudden I'm out there visiting all these other schools, and then I'm like, what do I do? And I'm like, my thoughts the same as the transfer portal. If you're going to take that risk and be visiting other schools, he's going to take the risk and keep recruiting people for your position until someone signs the paper and ink.
Yep.
So I don't know. Basketball. WNBA star Diana Taurasi becomes the 3rd player at 40 or older to record a 30-point basketball game, joining Dirk Nowitzki and Michael Jordan. Where does Taurasi fit in your best WNBA or basketball players of all time? Jim?
That's tough. So that's just her WNBA record? If I'm
no,
she's the 3rd player at the age of 40 or older to record a 30-plus game in the WNBA.
No, I think it's in all of basketball because it says in Dirk Nowitzki and Michael Jordan.
She's up there for me. She has
good longevity.
Yeah, hell of a basketball player.
Mm-hmm. Muff?
Yeah, so Diana Taurasi, one of the original Gino Auriemma stars. Coming from Connecticut, part of those first teams, those first dynasties. And that's what I remember her for. And then when she got to the NBA, it was like a seamless transition where she just continued to play at a high level, continues to play at a high level at 40 plus years old. And she's one of those people that travels, right? She goes overseas and plays professionally outside of that. So I think just for the longevity and the still being at the top of the game, I gotta think she's, as far as basketball players, if we're looking at this, she's like top 15 to 20 for me, like all basketball players,
like men, women.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair. Brittany Griner, another WNBA star. Brittany Griner is coming back to the U.S. after a hostage exchange, which included Griner and U.S. spy for the Merchant of Death, Victor Bout, who was the inspiration for the title character in the Nicolas Cage movie Lord of War. Is this how we thought it would end? Muff?
No, I didn't. I didn't think we were going to get an exchange. I thought this was going to ride out. I don't know what pressures or options were put out there. I am glad that Brittany Griner is coming back to the United States. I'm not going to get into the questioning how, but so it's a good outcome for Brittany Griner and her family. And I'm just going to leave it at that.
Jim?
We traded a Brittany Griner and a U.S. spy for the Merchant of Death, and probably a player to be named later. But
the 3rd round pick.
That's enough said. Like, I'm glad she's back. I wanted the Free Britney movement, but the Merchant of Death.
Are you talking about the same Free Britney movement?
I was just about to say, I was like, I think Free Britney
was the Britney Spears.
More of a connotation for Britney Spears, but we knew what you were talking about.
Come on. Anyway.
And all right. Fighting. The scheduled August 6th boxing pay-per-view card, headlined by Jake Paul and Hasim Rahman Jr., has been canceled due to a weight issue with Rahman. Since signing the fight back on July 7th, Rahman weighed 217. He was set to fight at 200. 2 weeks later, Ram had lost less than a pound and was asking to fight on August 6th at 215. They would not agree to 205. Jim?
What a bullshit move. Like, and I'm not a fan of the Paul brothers, but this jabron agrees to fight at 200. Mind you, he had a month to lose 15 pounds. That's a bit of a stretch. But he agrees. He signs the paper and says, I can do it. Does not even try. And then tries to force Jake Paul to fight at 215. And he thought he was going to get away with that. And I get that, like, well, he's trying to make money. If this is a money grab for Jake Paul, let's see what he can do. Like, I was a sparring partner for Jake Paul. He had no problem kicking my ass at 230. Let's see why does he care at 215? Let's make some money. Good for Jake Paul for saying, no, you bastard. Either you cut the weight or you're not getting the dough. And this guy should never be allowed to sniff Jake Paul's jockstrap.
Muff?
Just as we talked about with people signing deals in college football, if they commit, then you commit. And if you can't back it up, then you should be cut.
Yeah, he didn't even try. I mean, losing 15 pounds, I get it. That's tough. But, like, if he'd have lost 10, I'd have been like, he probably tried and just didn't get there.
Right.
But he would have been at, like, 207 and then 205. It's like, okay.
He pooped that out that morning. That's why he lost a pound.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He stood on a different scale. All right. Amanda Nunes, on the other hand, gets revenge and her belt back when she beats Juliana Pena at UFC 277 by unanimous decision. A new southpaw stance in wrestling won her this fight. Nunes' 15 UFC wins is the most among women in promotion history. This was her 10th title fight, the most among women in UFC history, and the 5th best overall. Nunes is the first woman in UFC to regain the bantamweight title after losing it. Muff?
I didn't watch this fight. I happened to be scrolling right before it started, and ESPN did the whole fake out where they let you watch all of the entrances, and then it was like, oh, you can pay for this to watch on ESPN Plus and pay-per-view. And I was like, not going to do that at 12:30 on
Right.
a Saturday night. So I didn't get to watch it, but I did see the outcome. Amanda Nunes did look better coming into the ring. They talked about her conditioning. They talked about everything. And all accounts were saying this was a good version of Pena as well. So Nunes truly won this belt back and was not caught in a situation where she was fighting somebody who had got complacent yet.
I love both these fighters. I think Amanda Nunes is probably a Hall of Famer. I think the fact that she left American Top Team and started her own gym and went on her own probably helped her tremendously. Switching stances probably floored Pena, probably confused the shit out of her. I want to see him run it back for a third one. I'd probably buy that third fight. I haven't bought a UFC fight in years. I would probably buy that fight. Especially if they put Patty the Batty. Is that his?
Patty the Batty.
I'd probably, if they put both those on, like Dana, if you're listening, which you probably aren't, although we did say UFC a bunch, so you might come after us. Put those two on the same card.
Insert UFC clip here.
Yes.
Maybe that'll catch his attention.
Put those two on the same fight card and you got my money.
That's fair. In another fight topic, our guy Derek Lewis loses at UFC 277 in controversial fashion in what many see as an early stoppage. Sergey Pavlovich came out hot right away and landed several huge blows right to Lewis's head before backing the all-time KO leader into a corner in the octagon. Suddenly, after landing a few more shots to his head, Pavlovich sent Lewis down to the ground face first. That prompted referee Dan Miragliotta to end the fight right then and there. Jim?
To be fair to Dan, I understand the reason for stepping in and stopping the fight per se. Our boy was down, face down on the mat for a split second. It was a judgment call, but Derek popped right up and he wasn't out cold. It was an early stoppage. Like, I don't think Derek lost that fight. That's my opinion.
I don't know. I mean, this is always like a big thing, and I have not heard anything Dana White saying about this. He typically comes out pretty strong against referees with early stoppages. So the fact that I haven't seen it doesn't mean it hasn't happened. I just haven't seen or heard it yet. But if somebody's face down on the mat, that's tough. It's a tough look not to stop it. But again, I haven't seen any of this because you can't catch any of these clips anywhere unless you see them real quick before they get taken down. But sad to see our guy Derek Lewis lose. Hopefully he's able to rebound.
I'm trying to find you the clip. I'll find you the clip.
Whoa! We don't want to get in trouble.
Actually, I do, because I want him to put my fight card on. Here, I got you. I'll send it to you now. But go ahead.
We got this because we paid for it, Dana.
No, we didn't. So listen to the podcast, Dana, so that we can get the fight card we want on.
All right. Baseball, Jim's favorite.
Yeah. I put this topic in here.
Chicago White Sox shortstop Tim Anderson has been suspended 3 games after he made contact with umpire Nick Marley during a game against the Oakland A's on Friday night. Anderson's helmet hit Marley's cap during the incident. Manager Tony La Russa was ejected from the game too. Muff?
Is it
Jim? Whoever?
Muff, did you see this?
No. I mean, I get it.
I saw a clip of it last night.
I get it. If I had to guess, the umpire also led into this confrontation as well.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, that's usually how this goes.
I will say that the ump did what the umps do, like he threw him out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there was some shit talking because I didn't get to hear the audio. But I agree with the suspension this time.
Huh?
The player got in the guy's face, made contact, his helmet banged into the ump's hat. He had no business getting that close. It was an act of intimidation. You were trying to intimidate that umpire. There was no need for it. You could say what you needed to say. You could kick the dirt. You can go ape shit. But that move, that like coming up with the head bullshit, that was not there. Was you were already ejected. What was your point there? You were trying to intimidate, and that you got your 3 games. Now, if they reduce it down to a game, that's understandable. But there was no need for that shit.
All right.
What Jim said.
In our wrapping up topic in golf, Bubba Watson signs with Live Golf. Muff.
Yeah, we're going to see more of this. We're going to continue to see this as the PGA regular season, as the PGA season wraps up. So they're getting into the playoffs. So today, Tony Finau won his 2nd tournament in a row, winning the Rocket Mortgage Classic, shooting. He won by like 3 or 4 strokes. But every week from here on out, there's less and less players that continue on in the PGA Tour playoffs. So I think as more players are eliminated, we're going to see more announce that they're going to Live Golf, because now that the season's over, the PGA Tour season's over, there's no more tournament options for them until next season. So, you're looking in like December, January. So this is the time when you're going to see people start jumping ship. So
can they come back?
Not right now.
No, so like the PGA season's over. They go golf on the Live Tour. Can they come back?
The Live at this point is locking them in, I believe. So that's part of what is unknown about Live Golf, is what ability do they have to play in PGA Tour events after this year, and what options is the PGA Tour going to provide? So the PGA Tour is going to is almost assuredly going to be less flexible than Live. But I don't know once Live, if they pick up any momentum, if they're going to want their players going back to the PGA Tour.
Gotcha.
I don't know.
Gotcha.
It's a question to be determined later.
All right. That was quick thoughts. Almighty Muffnac, we call upon thee to answer the questions that we've always wanted asked about whatever division we're working on, the NFC North. Almighty Muffnac, are you there, Mighty Muffnac?
Yes, out of my slumber. Talk about NFC North football.
Almighty Muffnac, will Jared Goff bring good fortune to the Lions?
The Lions and Jared Goff will have a hate relationship. Jared Goff will throw more interceptions than Nathan Peterman could in a quarter of football.
Wow. Okay. Mighty Muffnac, while we're on the Lions, will Alex lose a lot of money betting on the Lions?
Alex is hitching his wagon to a losing pony in this one. Alex, don't bet the Lions. Do not seek the Lions. Plus points, money line, or overs.
I don't know about you.
Bet Lions under all season.
Whacky Muffnacky, I don't know, man.
Muffnac, will Dalvin Cook have yet another amazing fantasy football year?
Dalvin Cook will be good for the first 6 weeks of the season and then suffer an injury.
Ooh, bringing the darkness, Muffnac. All right.
Well, Alex did talk about Whacky Muffnacky.
Almighty Muffnac, will Justin Fields throw more interceptions or be sacked more?
Unfortunately, Justin Fields will find himself in the field more than he will find his balls in the other team's hands.
Oh, shit. Almighty Muffnac.
He is from the Ohio State University.
Almighty Muffnac, you asshole. Will Aaron Rodgers be MVP yet again?
Aaron Rodgers, his new tattoo, without a girlfriend, will not be the MVP of the NFL.
Will he win a Super Bowl?
Not in our lifetime.
Well, thank you, Almighty Muffnac.
Yes.
Bring forth the muff.
I can't believe you missed it every time.
You know, Muffnac's around. I can't be there. He's too wacky, Alex.
Whacky Muffnacky.
That's it. He's just. What do you say this time?
He was whack today. I don't know if I agree with him today. Well, at least on the Lions takes.
Jim's shaking his head. What Muff do to you, Jim? He's pissing your Cheerios today.
Balls and hands, man. Let's end the show on that. Muffnac never ceases to amaze me.
All right. Again, this is Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff. Today is Monday, August 1st, and we are in the month of August, which means football is upon us. NCAA football returns. NFL preseason kicks off this Thursday with the Raiders taking on the Jaguars. Listen in. Thanks again to our guest from Mount Massive today, Kyle Litz. Appreciate it, Kyle. He's going to help promote this episode because the only way for us to continue to take off with a helicopter with its tail rotor up and away into the atmosphere, into the sky, is if you all tell a friend, make a friend, be